Welcome, friends, fans, and all electric appliances. You are listening to the Submerged podcast with Camila and Benji.
If we look at DNA tests, I think they will reveal that we are related. I am your father, and you are my lovely teenage daughter. And we're having raw, real, refreshing, sometimes explicit conversations on all sorts of themes. So if you love life, movies, culture, swimming, food, drinks, all sorts of nonsense, then you've come to the right place. And whether we will be skimming the surface or deep into these subjects or themes, we pledge to keep you entertained.
And please remember to leave a like, subscribe, let us know something in the comments. If you want to share something funny, if you want to give us some criticism, whatever you want. And be sure to share this with your friends, acquaintances, or family. Have fun.
Here we go. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever the hell you're at.
Hi.
If you're in Australia, g'day.
What?
Hi Camila.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm swagalicious.
Beautiful. You're doing well on this Tuesday, I guess.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So, for our first podcast and kicking off, we've got some interesting themes, interesting subjects. What do you think? Kind of weird or?
It's a fun lineup. I think it's a good start for us.
Oh wow, your enthusiasm is overwhelming. Please don't. So, yeah, sometimes this is raw, this is honest, this is refreshing conversations. Sometimes explicit. We'll try to keep it PG-13. So we've got to break down because obviously a lot of people, if they were in the 80s and 90s, the PG-13 has changed, right?
Yes.
So if you do watch a PG-13 movie now, we're allowed, I think, just a couple of fucks, right?
Just a few.
For emphasis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like more than 4, I think that's where you're hitting rated R.
No, I think 3, you're just bored.
Okay,
You're going too far. You're allowed bitch and asshole,
Nice.
right? And son of a bitch, too, right? I'm the one who's going to go say it. If you feel like the emphasis is there, I will let you. Mm-hmm. We do have real conversations, you and I.
Yeah.
Sometimes I talk to you maybe too explicitly, and certainly your mum, when she drives, is very explicit.
Yeah.
Well, that's another story.
Yeah.
So how about that? We'll try to keep it PG-13 for the crowds out there. And if you're offended, you can get lost or...
You can go freak yourself.
Exactly.
Thank you.
So today we're going to talk about an animal. So for animal lovers out there, a little segment on that. We will also discuss a book you and I have shared and read together. Ties into the nature theme of that animal. We will also have our very popular, I'm already calling it popular because I love it, the Odd News segment.
That's hilarious.
It talk about something weird that we've heard about. And then maybe a little entertainment with Netflix and talk about the Cobra Kai series, the season 4.
Yeah.
And also its ending and we're tickled to death of season 5, and so I think we got a good lineup.
Did you say tinkled?
No, I said tickled.
Oh.
No.
Nice.
Not tickled.
Okay, well.
So, the first subject tonight, what the hell is going on in Florida? We live in Florida.
Well,
right?
we need to give context as to where we came from before and how this is kind of shocking.
Right. We lived for many years in Boston at sea level. The worst that we saw, I think, was... Maybe
fox?
Some wild turkey. Coyote maybe once.
Yeah,
was
maybe
seen
like
in the
once.
neighborhood,
Okay, but we lived in a pretty urban area,
yes.
so there's not much animals coming to visit your backyard.
Correct. And then then we moved to the Disneyland of places in Colorado.
Right. They literally had like signs for people like to turn their lights off for the bears. Like, why do we want the bears to come to the streets? I don't know, but
the bloody bins had bear
what is
inscriptions and bear protection.
Yeah,
because they just come and they just rub themselves on those things because they're looking for food. There were
I don't know why we're inviting them to our town in the first place.
Foxes.
But you know what? I'm all for keeping animals safe. And that's fine. Just as long as it's at a distance from me. Maybe not near my trash bags because that's like right next to my house. But whatever. I didn't die. We're still here.
We are here. We survived the bears. We survived those. Now I'm thinking, we're beyond the fox. What was that animal that was found in the tree just casually hanging out? Was it mountain lions?
It was a bobcat.
Bobcats just chilling in the neighborhood.
Right. That was a little weird.
So we survived that in Colorado, and then now we moved back to sea level. We are here in Central Florida, Brevard County. And what's happening in the lake? Camila, can we talk about the lake?
Right. So we live on a lake, and ain't nobody going swimming in that lake. Let me just say, that water is nice. So there's a bunch of animals in there, but there ain't no way I'm going to go in that water. Like, the amount of animals that we have living in that ecosystem is scary. And honestly, I'm not here for it. Those fish are bigger than my neck. There's a problem if the fish are bigger than my hand.
We have turtles. There are also
else?
cranes that are hanging out.
Right.
I'm sure there's serpents at one point, and I'm sure there's some sort of electrical eel that we haven't met him yet. But we have encountered wild boar.
Oh, right.
Have showed up on the territory.
They try to eat our food.
They try to eat our food.
It was scary.
I wish we had a gun to get them out and then hang them up for the winter. But we know then the whole Spanish contingent would show up.
Yeah.
At least shout out to Mike Murda. But no. Today we're here to talk about our new arrivals, the Otters, or what I call the X-Men of the aquatic world. Now, describe a bit what happened to Abuelo.
Okay, so basically my grandmother has a garden, like right next to this lake, right? She's been tending to it every single day. A pretty successful garden, if I do say so myself.
Lovely garden.
Right? So here we are, and we didn't think that we had to add more animals to the list, but we did. There's otters, and they were stalking her garden one day, and they just ran into the lake. And at first it was just one, but now there's three. Apparently there was a second one. They had a child. Yep.
And here comes the issue, because when you do research on these animals, there's two kinds. There's the sea otter, right?
Yeah.
And there's the North American river otter. So it looks like we have the latter.
The river ones.
Yeah. So they apparently rarely attack humans. However, they can be very territorial, and they're even more so when they want to protect their babies. What did they do when Abuelo tried to approach him with his Samsung?
Okay, so with his Android. Abuelo, he's a risque little man. He thought it was funny to film a little YouTube vlog for us of these otters, right? He thought it was cute, and that's fine. But Mans was too damn close to them, and they started hissing at him. And I'm over here, and I'm like, what are these animals doing, bro?
He had to back off. You can see in the video.
Yeah.
He actually might have pooped his pants.
He needed to like walk away, and he was laughing in the video, but it wasn't like a good laugh. It was a nervous laugh, because they looked like they were about to like eat his kneecap.
Yep.
Because that's like their height.
And when you research it, the safety precautions they say is that you need to be 60 feet or 5 kayak lengths away, and Abuelo was definitely not there.
Babes was like half a kayak
exactly
away.
And apparently in January of 2017, or January 2nd, so right after the new year, hip hip hooray, after 2016, 2 boys were attacked in Lake Shasta in California and had to get rabies shots. So again, the last thing I need is an ambulance going down Wickham Road here, and with a Cuban screaming, and we're shoving a needle into his stomach.
Absolutely,
so he can survive. So the obviously we know that they're semi-aquatic, aquatic, and marine. They're part of a family that includes the weasels, the badgers, the minks. But then that's why I'm calling them the X-Men of the aquatic world. They're related to Wolverines. They're the Hugh Jackman of the lake. It's like we're screwed. And this is the best part. They're one of the few mammals to use tools. No, listen to this. They use a rock as a hammer. Maybe this is sea otter, but who knows? Because the North American river otter could develop this skill. They use a rock as a hammer to break hard shell prey. So they have a pouch right under the armpit where they store food. Like, if they, hey, listen, that snack's for later. You're on a diet, calm down, fucking put it in the pouch. Oh, there's one word. But can you imagine if he just takes out that rock and then gets on the land and runs after Abuelo? I mean, you might as well just...
We're losing it, bro.
Losing him
we're done for.
Exactly.
If they bust out the rock, we gotta go. I don't know why we're here.
Now, listen, we're talking about rocks and attacking and shooting bulls, but listen, these animals are protected by U.S. and international laws, right? Especially the sea otters. There was a 1911 international kind of fur seal treaty in 1911. They also fell under the 1970s Endangered Species Act. So we want to take care of these animals. And you and I as swimmers, right? Because we are swimmers, right? I'm a master swimmer, former Olympic swimmer. You are currently age group swimmer, very successful at that. And
sure,
these guys, we've got a lot to learn. What did we find out about their breath holding capabilities?
They can hold their breath up to 8 minutes in a river, right? Mm-hmm. And then in the ocean, it was like 5 minutes, something like that.
Correct. So we have a lot to learn because we work our underwater. Sometimes we have to work our lung capacity. So these little bastards can teach us a lot if they don't hit us with a rock over the head, hiss at us, bite us,
rape us.
All of the above. There's a weird dynamic here. Now, to conclude the segment on these wonderful little animals, I found out that in Japanese folklore, kawauso, if I'm pronouncing it right, and if I didn't,
don't cancel us.
Don't cancel us.
We're trying.
They would fool humans like foxes. So they're like a sly animal, seducing, finding...
So they're douchebags.
Yeah, they're like... So, Dora the Explorer, it could have been, instead of, what's his face, Swiper?
Yeah.
It could have been, Otter, right? Whatever his name is. So the also funny part is in mostly Japanese, but there was also a Chinese element to it. They shapeshift into beautiful women, like sirens seducing in the Greek mythology in Ulysses, right?
Yeah.
And so you gotta love the Japanese because, by the way, it was very
the age group was quite specific.
They were quite specific that it was beautiful young women. Of course, I'm like ugly otters,
Yeah.
And 18 or 19. I just don't know why the Japs play with that line. It's like she couldn't be 21 driving, she's secure.
Maybe her brain's developed.
She's thinking of going to medical school. No, she's 18, 19. We don't know if she's from a stripper pole. She's going to seduce and then she's going to rape you and then hit you over the head with a rock. So these otters are fascinating. And listen, if you love otters, you're raising them or you have had either wonderful or scary encounters, let us know, right?
Yeah. Give us a little quick message on Instagram. Give us some otter stories if you have some fun otter stories. But otters' lives matter. Otters' lives matter.
We love otters, and peace to them. If we get updates, you will have updates. So, and if you feel like you need updates, and
let us know.
Let us know. So, using that nature theme, being here in Florida, I mean, we're going to shift in the next segment to talk about our book of the month, shall we call it, right? But now we're still kind of in the South, but maybe veering up a little north in North Carolina.
Yes, the marsh.
The marsh. And what is the book that we're discussing today, Camila?
Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. Sorry if I'm butchering the name.
No worries. So Delia or Delia Owens, a wildlife scientist in Africa, formerly American. She also helps, I think, with efforts in Zambia. Maybe one day.
Basically, she's a nature freak, but we're here for it.
We're here for it. And this is, I think, her first book. From your perspective as a teenager, first, I read it. I knew that you would love it. I think it really moved me. And, being 15 plus 30, almost 31 next month. No, actually in 10 days. Believe it or
10
not.
days,
10
yeah,
days.
10 days.
46 still in the mix. Okay, moving on.
Right, okay.
Tell us about When the Crawdads Sing without giving everything away.
Okay, how do you explain this book? Basically, overall, it's a murder mystery. Someone has died, and we're trying to figure out who did it. It's a whodunit, right? But at the same time as there is a whodunit plot line going on, you are learning about this girl who lives in the marsh. She's been abandoned by both of her parents. Well, her mother at first, and I wouldn't really say her father was really a strong parental figure in her life. He was definitely not the best father in the world, but we appreciate his effort. Actually, no, we don't. But yeah, basically she was abandoned at a really young age, and she had to figure out how to live on her own. So you kind of go through her life, and the chapters kind of work how you jump between her life and
Past,
then,
present, future.
yeah, and then you jump to the investigation. And it kind of doesn't make sense at the beginning, but as the stories go on from past, present, future, all the stories connect to one. And I think it was a really good story. I really enjoyed it. Mostly.
So what specific themes did you enjoy about it? And then, I can chime in.
I think I like a classic whodunit. I've always enjoyed murder mysteries. I've always been into podcasts, like true crime podcasts, like who's the serial killer, try to figure it out, So I've always enjoyed reading books like that since I think like elementary school. And then I think it's a really nice coming of age story. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of new for me, the whole aspect of nature that Dalia Owens brought into this book.
Why is it different?
It's different because she just goes very much into detail about the nature, but she describes it in a really beautiful way where you're like not bored, I get bored really fast with books because I don't really like reading. I don't really think a lot of teenagers like reading in general.
They should.
The most we do is I think English class, and we just read the books that we have to. But I think this was a really fun book to read on my own, and I really like the nature aspect, even though I've never really been a big nature freak. Girl was going off about mushrooms, and I was like, damn, I really just want to eat that mushroom right now,
Yeah, I want to be Alice in Wonderland on that mushroom.
Yeah, she was killing it.
This is where maybe I can contribute is her background, understanding nature, being a wildlife scientist. She incorporates these details into this wonderful poetic tapestry of the marshland. Mm-hmm. And you almost feel like you're there. Mm-hmm. You're living and breathing with this character who is this young girl trying to figure things out in a very depressed and difficult environment.
Very strange.
And you, right off the bat, obviously you're rooting for her, even while questioning, are there some dark tendencies? Mm-hmm. And so that she is the marsh. She is Mother Nature. And as Mother Nature goes through cycles, so do we as human beings. And I think if we follow the thread of her story, of her growing up and becoming a woman, and the actions that she has to take in order to survive, right? Mm-hmm. She is like those little animals that at any single moment an eagle can sweep down and grab you. But she protects herself in fabulous ways. And I was really impressed from this book. It's been a while that there hasn't been a book that's like tantalized me that much in terms of both the whodunit mm-hmm. aspect, but also this. I just love when people write real female characters. They don't try to stereotype them. You almost feel like, God, you sometimes you want to hug this girl, sometimes you want to slap her, sometimes mm-hmm. and in all her savageness, right, and all her raw beauty, she does represent that land. So it really, again, I've been to North Carolina a few times for work, and I've had cousins and an aunt live there. it made me want to go down and just, camp out in the marsh.
Yeah. Honestly, that's like the first book I've enjoyed since Harry Potter in like the 3rd grade, bro. Like, it was very good. I wrote an English report on it. I ended up getting 100. I was like really into it. I had to do a whole speech on it, but I really enjoyed it. I like talking about it.
Did I help you on that speech, or was it just, did that really happen naturally?
I read the first 30 seconds of the speech, and you told me it was shit, and you walked away.
It could. Thank you.
And then I rewrote it, and I ended up getting 100. So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, where the Crawdads Sing, if you are looking for that book that's going to appeal to your teenager, that's going to appeal also to the young adults, to adults, for us, it was...
It's not a very hard level book to read.
Well, although I think the vocabulary, especially the nature vocabulary, is,
right?
You might need a thesaurus to find out the birds, the colors,
the themes are a little like heavy, I think. So you definitely have to be mature to understand the themes. But if you like reading, I think this will be a nice book, and it's not very hard to read. I read it in like 4 days. It was that good, and. It wasn't super long, too.
And I think it's very inspiring for young women. But then, as I said, it should appeal to absolutely everybody.
Yeah.
All walks of life. So, again, a really strong recommendation. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. I'm glad we shared it together. Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. So we'll take a quick jump now into a very completely different theme.
Well, I mean, I guess this is related to nature. It has to do with an animal.
We are back to animals. Good point. This segment is what we're calling odd news. So what we're trying to do here is...
Make you laugh,
but mostly just...
We're going to get real goofy with it. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, we'll get goofy,
odd.
But it's based off complete reality, right?
Yeah.
It's based off reality. It's stuff that we're reading in the news, not...
it's based off people's dumb shit, basically.
Well, yes and no. It started off as a real story, but then it just
got goofy.
As it progressed, it got goofy.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this story. So we want to talk about Mr. David Bennett, and what happened to Mr. Bennett, Camila?
Mr. Bennett got a genetically modified pig heart transplant.
GMO pig heart transplant.
My boy, what?
He's doing well, right? It's been
I think
over
he's alive.
It's been over 5 weeks since the operation. He's doing well. Apparently, he either saw the Super Bowl live or wanted to see the Super Bowl.
He fulfilled his dream of going to see the Super Bowl. So bro was busting out with his pig heart watching Eminem. Good for him.
Good for him. So then, that's what we read, successful operation. 5 weeks later, man is doing well, saw the Super Bowl. The first interesting question for me is David Bennett having pig dreams?
Absolutely,
right? There's no other way, because
there's no way. Bro gets a pig heart and he's not thinking about gobbling down on some not turkey ham.
Well, no, if he got a turkey heart, that would be he'd be at the deli.
He's
like,
gobbling up
rye, please?
That ham in the fridge, ham sandwiches. Every day, bro.
Yeah, but first it's pig dreams. I mean, but yes, he might be dreaming.
No, he's dreaming about eating it, and he's also eating it.
Yes, I think he's dreaming about acorns. Like he's like in a Spanish field. He's eating acorns. He knows what's going down. They're gonna slaughter him, but he knows he's gonna be able to feed that family at Christmas. And but also, we concur that he's having pig dreams.
Yeah.
And he feels really piggy. Whatever that means, his wife is tired of making ham and cheese sandwiches. But also, I see David Bennett just driving down Calle Ocho in Miami, and he drives by Palacio de los Jugos, and he smells like the chicharrones, the fried pork, and he's like, oh God, and he pulls over really quick, and he just... You can buy by the pound there, so he gets 3. He's stuffing his face. Maybe he's got a sugarcane drink next to him, and people are like, "Oh my God, what's wrong with David Bennett?" And he thinks it's normal, right? It's normal.
We doing like what?
Yes.
Like there's no way that's like not happening.
Yes.
You know, I think I've convinced myself, and people are probably like, what?
Yes.
Like, honestly, if I would see that, I'd be like, is he good, bro? Like,
Yeah, we need to check up on him.
like, I honestly want to give him like a call. Like, I want to find his Instagram and be like, are you good, bro? Like, can you eat bacon anymore? Like,
Based on
what's
his
going
ages,
on?
I think he's 57. I don't think that was his bag.
Maybe he has Facebook.
And I'll tell you why it's probably not his bag. As we research more David Bennett, now buried in the second or third page of the Google search.
Nobody goes to the second or third
That's
page of
what I'm
Google
saying.
search. There's always like some sort of like weird animal involved.
There is. At
We're
one
just
point, there's a horse.
like,
There's a Mexican party. It's weird.
skip. You stay on page 1.
Correct. And so we found out that there was a family that was severely affected, apparently, by David Bennett, because back in 1988, the title, by the way, of the report was called "The Ethics of a Second Chance." I love the title.
That's it. We're screwed. We know what's coming down.
Basically, David Bennett stabbed somebody 7 times. And so what I want to understand, I have trouble with my bloody pin and chip card at Publix or Publix, whatever we want to call it, you know, and then looks at me, chip malfunction, like as if I've just raped the entire supermarket. But this guy stabbed somebody 7 times. And the doctors are like, yep, he's our candidate. Number 1, David Bennett on the list, wants to watch the Super Bowl. Where's that pig from North Carolina? I knew there was a connection. GMO pig heart, hit me up. So,
Holla.
was David Bennett a pig before getting a pig heart? Do you forgive him, Camila? Because this is a big moral dilemma.
Mm-hmm.
Do you forgive somebody that's apparently almost killed? I think the guy that was alive,
I hope so, bruh.
yeah.
We're having mad problems if this guy
Nobody wants to
killed
talk.
someone.
So I just love how like the BBC had that first story. Then when that lady and that family came out, then they stopped fucking talking about it. They just buried that deep into the second, third page of Google, because now it's no more under the mattress or, you know, in the rock behind the house. Now it's in the internet. You have to go second
you
or
gotta
third
go
page
look
of
for
Google.
it, bro.
Bibble.
Honestly, like,
We're gonna keep on following this guy, right?
Yeah, I think that they just gave him the transplant, and if something went wrong, I just think they wouldn't feel bad because he's already kind of a bad person. We don't know if David Bennett went through a whole like spiritual awakening and he's a
Maybe he
good
did.
person now, but I highly doubt it considering he had the brain freaking transplant of a genetically modified pig heart. What are we doing?
No, this is the best part. Now my scenario where I had him eating chicharrones at Palacio de los Jugos, I just see him like, you know, he's like, you know, the guy's like, hey, he goes, do you have a knife to cut these things? And he starts shanking the chicharron. He's like, take that, fool. Oh my God. So this story we're going to continue following. Listen, he's alive. He's doing well. He apparently got a second chance. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I would have given. And if I was the doctor, I'm like, could we do some better screening?
I would open the paper. I was like, damn, close that paper right now.
He's
Get
like,
this man out of here
yeah,
for real.
Let me check. But maybe, you know, maybe he did have a spiritual awakening. So if he did, hopefully he is forgiven either in this life or another. Shout out to that pig, that genetically modified pig that helped David Bennett. Yep. So moving on from odd news to, let's conclude today talking about Netflix. Not that they need more publicity, but sometimes they do have some good shows. And
sometimes
something that is, you know, cross-generational, different interpretations, different views of what was Karate Kid. Now the adaptation of Cobra Kai into season 4. So if you haven't watched it, please, you know, turn us off right now. Right?
Skip.
And so season 4 ended. Maybe your perspective on the season. Why does it appeal to you? And then I'll come in and talk about what Karate Kid meant for me, and then we can speculate about season 5. So season 4 ending, what did you think?
I thought it was like, honestly, a mad plot twist. I was like, damn, you know, because it's like Terry Silver. I was like, God damn, this man's still pulling like silver fox shit on these people. Like, damn, bro.
Yeah,
he tricked the trickster. Like, full on. I was like,
So for a lot of people who don't know,
bruh.
Terry Silver was the character from Karate Kid 3. He was the good-looking, tall, ponytail,
Girl, I wouldn't say
kind of
good-looking.
assassin friend to Sensei.
He was a
Kreese,
lifelong friend of Sensei.
right? And a bit sadistic, and he really turned Daniel LaRusso from good boy to bad boy, and until Mr. Miyagi had to save him. So he reappears here, and
Yeah.
you know,
At the moment he entered the show, I was like, we're screwed. This town is screwed.
it was his smile, right?
Yes, it's that creepy smile.
He could have been
And
the Joker at
you
some
just
point in
look
his
at the
life.
poster that they posted on Instagram. I was like, we're screwed. Terry Silver's coming back. Look at his face. We know shit's about to go down right now. We gotta binge
It was
this.
really fun. I can't wait for season 5, but we'll talk about maybe see what happens. In terms of you as a 15-year-old and looking at this and obviously seeing me enjoy it for different aspects, and why do you think your generation is into Cobra Kai?
Okay, to be fully honest with you, Karate Kid is a classic, but the men in Karate Kid are just hot. Like Ralph Macchio, who's the actor for Johnny Lawrence?
I don't know his name,
I
but
forget
yes,
his
he's
name.
played every bad
But
guy in 80s movies.
Basically, every single teenage girl, and probably man, because men would probably be gay for them too, just absolutely simp for these people. So when Cobra Kai came out, we were like, damn, we gotta watch this. Ralph Macchio
You're
still
talking
looking
about the
like a dolphin.
1984 movie. The leather face silver dolphin that is Ralph Macchio right now. So you thought he was hot or cute in the original,
He's hot. Yeah.
even though he looked
Like a prepubescent 12-year-old boy.
exactly. He
It
was
still
24 when he
attractive.
shot that. I don't even know if he had pubes, but he
Probably not.
probably not.
His balls haven't dropped.
I mean, he still looks like he's
He
21.
honestly looks like he's in his like 30s. He could pass for a 30-year-old.
And that he could get beat up at any time, right?
Right.
That was always that vulnerability.
He could probably like break his back at some point,
Exactly.
you know? But like, yeah. That's mostly the main
So
reason why
you think
everybody
that this
started
hotness
watching
has
it.
carried on now as they're men, or is it a different thing for you?
Ralph Macchio looks like a Louis Vuitton leather bag. And they were, let me just say, Louis Vuitton bags, they're nice.
Yeah.
They were in style, but they're not in style right now. They're lacking a little bit right now.
A lot of people would disagree with you, but that's a different
Right,
story.
okay, but I follow the fashion trends of like celebrities.
Oh, sorry.
Louis Vuitton, it ain't on right now. It's other brands. So
Okay.
we're just going to describe Ralph Macchio as a Louis Vuitton bag. He's in the game. He's still doing well, but, you know, lacking. Not my fave right now.
Got
right?
it.
Then you have Johnny Lawrence, who's looking like an absolute snack. He's still blonde. We don't got white hairs going on. I'd say he's pretty in
Are
shape.
you okay with the wrinkles?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think he's funny. And I think the humor makes up for that. And I know it's just his character, but just like,
So apart
Yeah.
from the hotness of these guys that
Filth.
you think that has, translated decently in this new version, what other themes on a teenage perspective do you think are interesting?
they did a really good job on the dating aspect. It was honestly pretty realistic because there's so much drama at school that revolves around who's dating who and who can you have sex with and who can't you have sex with. So I think they did a really interesting take on that. It was a little bit cringy at times.
Right.
A little bit like too much. Like the Tori and Samantha thing, like girls ain't busting out in karate fights at my school over men.
Yes, that is a bit
right?
exaggerated, just like with, but see that.
But
is-
it's funny. It's
that's,
funny.
That's
Like, it
the
works.
appeal for me, because if you do let yourself get absorbed in that universe, which for me, as I said, as a young kid when it came out, I was 8, 9. I thought it was the world to me. That relationship between him and Miyagi, the kick to the face, the slow build to a guy
Right.
who was more of a loser, getting bullied, vulnerable. And that overcoming that aspect.
And he bagged the hot chick.
And he bagged the hot chick, exactly. And so...
Pretty successful man.
Yeah,
in my books.
he was successful back then. And I think that they did a good job of switching it and showing us the complexities now, the dark side, the light side. They're not perfect adults. They make mistakes, but they're willing to learn. So it has this
Yes.
1980s sitcom vibe without the fake applause. You really want to root for everybody pretty much, and you just like.
Except Terry Silver.
And no, actually, I to be honest, when he came in, I was like, how are they gonna play out his character? And as I said, until that unfolding.
That was funny, though.
That was funny, but we won't give it anyway much more. I think that that's something that teenagers and adults can watch together and enjoy, especially if you were nostalgic. I'm born in the 70s, so Karate Kid.
There's no sex, so if you guys are anti-sex parents, you guys can watch it with your kids.
Exactly. So it is a
PG-13 approved.
Is PG-13
I mean, maybe
approved.
There's like a fatty kiss, but that's okay.
No, doesn't Johnny Lawrence swear?
No, bro, a little bit, but there's like 3 like make-out kisses.
Oh, okay. Yes.
I think that's the most explicit thing that it gets.
That's fine. There was one nice kiss in Karate
Kid 1.
You know what?
That's A-okay.
Yeah,
That's
there was a kiss by the water slide. I remember. Kind of, if you look at it, I don't know. Go back to that scene in Karate Kid 1.
There was
Daniel
a water
LaRusso
slide in the
like,
background.
Yeah,
he looks like he's swallowing her, and I'm not here for it.
He was trying to swallow her, is it like a cobra going into on a mouse, right?
And I was like, what is we?
Yeah, that was a weird
doing?
Kiss. Go back and watch that scene, everybody.
Right in front of the water slide.
Because I wonder if he said, listen. I wonder if he's like, listen, I'm going to go in deep. I want to be passionate about this. There's one thing he's being passionate about. There's another one is like, I'm going to hoover your face. Right?
And then there's people eating shit on the water slide behind them.
Yeah.
So I just can't take this seriously. Someone's being swallowed and then there's people eating shit off the water slide. I'm like, what am I supposed to look at here?
Yeah, it was
and
weird.
Then their outfit's just absolutely tragic.
Yeah.
And it's just, it was so stupid. They like what they got into a fight over, and they're just like, he's just swallowing her. I'm like, damn, bro, like you don't need to get so passionate with it. Like we get it, you like her.
No, I'm okay with the passion. I'm just saying, listen, a little restraint would have worked out, and I'm sure after what they said cut, she was like, do we have to do a 13th take? And LaRusso's like, yeah. Mais bon, so season 5, we're looking forward to it. Obviously, the return of Terry Silver in full fashion. Kreese on the sidelines, Johnny and Daniel LaRusso trying to figure it out again to be together. But
good show.
We certainly had a lot of fun. I think it's, again, a parent-kid type of experience.
Good comedic relief.
Good comedy relief and good action. So we want to thank everybody today. Camila, we talked about Otters. We talked about nature through our book of the month. We then segmented into nature, into transplants, heart transplants for that matter.
Yep.
And then concluded with Cobra Kai. So there was a lot of animal themes, without even us thinking about it. So we hope you enjoyed it. What can people do if they like this?
Give it a like, subscribe, follow our podcast, follow our Instagram, the Submerged Podcast. We'll be uploading, giving daily updates about when episodes come out, so be sure to follow us there. Let us know how you feel about the podcast. Leave a comment. If you want to give us shit, that's nice.
That's fine too. And then
Good
soon
for you,
we
babes.
hope to have some video, so you see that we're not robots, we are real people, and we are father and daughter.
And
remember,
I am sexy as frick.
Well, that I don't know. I wouldn't describe you as that you are my daughter. But yes, you're quite cute some days.
Thank you.
Not when you wake up in the morning, you can be quite a bitch. Okay.
Well.
Yeah. All you have to say is good morning. Well, we love you all.
No.
We will listen to you. We will be talking soon and hopefully interacting. So have a great night, great evening, good morning. Cheers from Camila and Benji. We out.